Are you blind? Are you sick or something? Huh?
We thank you, sweet brown sugar. We thank you, hot cinnamon. We thank you, warm peanut butter. We thank you, dark fudge.
Hey all, how are y'all? It's me, Aloha. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and happy Memorial Day. And so in honor of Memorial Day, I know I have not posted an episode of Growing Up African in like 4 months, and that is because originally episode 4 was supposed to be a collab between me and the TNK twins, but we're still working that out. So that episode is gonna drop after this episode, so that will be episode 5 of Growing Up African instead. So stay tuned for that. So in place of that, episode 4 is basically gonna be something I wanted to do for a while, and that is me talking about my experience as an African child in an American school, especially as a first generation African. It's like what your culture is at home is especially different from what you see at school. Yes, technically you'll listen to American music, technically you have American friends, but you still feel kind of too African for them in a sense. And then when you get home to your African household, they see you as too American because of the way you talk or what you listen to. So it's really a struggle. But without further ado, let's just... So this video is going to be divided up into three sections. And that's going to be my experience with 3 different types of people. The first part will be my experience with white Americans, 2 is Hispanic Americans, and then lastly is African Americans. So without further ado, of course, like my regular Growing Up African episode, I have my notes here. Let's get into the video. Alright. Whew. We gotta take a deep breath. And the first thing I want to touch on is hair, right? Most of the time when I do go to school, my hair is in braids. But the few times that my hair would be out natural for a day to a week, all of a sudden I come into the building and my teacher that was white, because most of my teachers have been white. I think I've had less than 6 black teachers. Most of my teachers were white. So anytime that I would come to school with my natural hair, they'd be like,
"Oh my god, Aloha, your hair is so nice. It's so pretty. Can I touch your hair?"
No, 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 no.
Not only would it be the white teachers, it will also be a few of my white classmates as well. And I didn't really talk much, especially since this happened in the primary years of elementary school, so between kindergarten and 2nd grade. So I was just there like, I guess, like, my hair's not a petting zoo. Don't even ask. Or anytime where my hair was natural, that following weekend I would get my hair done specifically on that Sunday. And then they'd
be like, "Oh my god, Aloha, your hair is so different. How did your hair change up that fast? Like, it was just short this week, and then it's long that this week. Your hair is like, oh my gosh, it's so, wow."
Then you're like, yeah, I got it done. So and so, that little awkward small talk. Then all of a sudden it will be like, how long did it take? Does it matter, Susan? You're not gonna go out and get the braids, so why does it matter? It looks good. That's all that matters. Then the next thing I want to get into is, especially when it comes to finding out names and nationality, right? So, especially when it comes to the first day or first week in general, almost every African kid's nightmare is having your name being made fun of, all because the white teacher couldn't pronounce the name properly. They can pronounce Leonardo, they can pronounce Raphael, they can pronounce Michelangelo, they can pronounce Schwarzenegger, they can even pronounce supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but they can't pronounce Aloha. They can't pronounce Bolande. They can't pronounce Woke. They can't pronounce Ruki. Simple African names that are like 2-3 syllables. They're like,
how do I pronounce this name? So here's how it will go, right? It'll be like Elizabeth, Bella, Anastasia, Sebastian, Donatello, Leonardo. Oh, this name's a hard one. Sorry, I don't want to butcher names. Eloho?
or even one of the times I had my teacher call me Aloha. How do you get Aloha from Aloha? What in the heck? Or then they'll see my name, right? And then they'll be like, Eloho? Ma'am, my name is not a word in the spelling bee. So then I'm raising my hand awkwardly like this. Yeah, that's me. And then you just have everybody looking at you like, ma'am, Miss Ma'ams, that's not it. No, you can learn how to pronounce the hardest European names. Even one of my teachers this year, his last name I think was, you pronounce it Sherbernack, but my white teachers can pronounce Sherbernack, but they can't pronounce Aloha. Ciao. The laziness is real when it comes to pronouncing black names. Then afterwards, when it comes to that hassle trying to pronounce your name, they'll see your name and then they'll be like, oh, that's your name? And then you're like, yeah. So where are you from? So you're thinking in your head, where am I from? Here. The heck? So then I'm like, I'm from Atlanta. Wait, no. Where are you really from? Atlanta. No, you're not getting my question. Where are you really from? So then I have to go on that whole backstory thing, right? Oh, well, I was born here in Atlanta, but my parents are from Nigeria. Then what are you gonna do with that information anyways? I'm still gonna pass this class and move on. So what are you doing hassling about my name? Then you have other kids looking at you because they just want their name to be called for attendance already. The struggle is real. The next thing I do have here is especially, oh my goodness. So then afterwards they'll be like, where are you from your name, right? Because obviously it's not the ordinary name, right? And so you tell them where your family's from, then they'll be like, oh, you're Nigerian?
Oh, my friend's cousin's brother has a dog sitter, and he's from Senegal. Or my best friend's sister's cousin's boyfriend's niece is from South Africa. Or, oh, guess what? You're gonna like this one. I went to Ross last week and he said he's from Liberia. And then he said his coworkers from South Africa. And then they have a niece that's from Kenya.
Whoa! Can I get another whoa? Whoa! Give me another one. Whoa! Call the ambulance. Whoa!
Man, what am I supposed to do with this information? You think all Africans know each other? Nah. I'm gonna be in Nigeria, then I'm gonna be like, oh, let me catch a cab to Kenya. Man, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. I gotta catch a flight. It even takes hours to go from state to state here. You think you can easily drive from Nigeria to South Africa? No. You're gonna need to fly. But that's the only time that they'll be like, my so-and-so is from this country. Because from henceforth, they'll be referring to Africa as a country and not a continent. They'll make it seem like Africa is this big place where there's huts and there's zebras and we're just a bunch of uneducated animals that, you know, communicate with lions and zebras. Like, Africa's just this one place with jungles and there's elephants everywhere. I've seen an elephant when I was a baby, and of course I don't remember that. If I want to see these animals, I'll go to the zoo. It's not like I'll be like, hi, I'll say, hi, pet zebra. No! But that's the nonsense information they'll feed to you. And then whenever we did talk about Africa, it will always be like, oh, Africans are so poor. This is their GDP per capita. Then they'll play all these commercials of white people going there to make it seem like they're sort of the white savior, which is very, very weird. So you'll have this humanitarian work, and then you'll see this African kid with a bunch of sand on their face, just looking real roughed up, and then they'll be taking photos with the African kids like there's some kind of prop. Africans are not your charity case. We are humans just like you. But that is how my experience with the white Americans were. Now let's get into part 2, which is my experience with Hispanic Americans. So let me open back up my notes and get into the racism. Shockingly, I have experienced more racism from Hispanics than white people themselves. Like, that really tells you something. So immediately, anytime we do talk about black people in social studies, it's always slavery. Why does everything about black people, it always has to start with slavery? There's more to black people than just slaves. So then you'll have the Hispanic kids just looking off to the side, being like, that doesn't have anything to do with me. And some of them will be black themselves, acting like, you do know some of you guys are mixed with black, but even though some are mixed with black, right, they'll usually hang around the ones that are more white passing, and the white Hispanics will be the main ones saying the N-word, or the people that look mixed. They're, I guess, technically brown skin in their community, but they're not black. They'll be saying the N-word the most, and I'm like, what the heck? I'll be walking down the hallways, right, and they'll be saying the N-word with their friends, and the N-word to their friends, or even say the N-word to their black friends, and I'm like,
wow, racism.
who gave you the authority? What kind of chemical spilled into your head that made you think that you could say the N-word? And they'll just say it without a care in the world. So you think you're gonna come up to one black person and be like, hey, what's up? And then say the N-word. And think that I'm just supposed to take it all because I don't say anything. No, that's racist. You're racist, sweetheart. Then they'll be like, oh, I can't be racist. I have black friends. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Or you'll have them count how much blackness they have in them. Oh, I can say the N-word because my grandmother's niece's cousin, she was black. I don't care, bruh. If you don't physically look black, don't say the N-word. It's not that hard. Even there was this one time in 7th grade where we were talking about that outdated information about Africa. And I remember there's this one incident. So in Africa, there is 2 countries in West Africa that have around the same name. Niger and my country, Nigeria, right? So then a few Hispanic kids I was sitting at my table with decided, no, let me not call it Niger. Let me not call it Nigeria. They literally said the N-word with the hard R, Ia. I'll put the text on the screen. Are you freaking kidding me? Out loud, not even thinking. N-word with the hard R, Aria. They just have no shame, no sense at all. And then anytime we're at the lunch table, let's say they have some kind of nasty bread or nasty chicken nuggets and they'll be playing with their food or sometimes even get up to go throw the food away. They'll be like, oh my God, stop. There's kids in Africa that could have eaten that.
Girl, you're a joke.
Shut up. Shut up. It's the audacity for me. And then lastly, of course, sometimes the white teachers will be like, oh, how long did it take to get your hair done? And they'll compliment me on my hair. It'll be in some kind of weird way, like I'm some kind of charity case or exotical. But whenever I'd come into school with a new braided hairstyle, a lot of the Hispanic girls, they won't immediately be like, your hair is beautiful and leave it alone. So here's how it will go, right? I'll walk into class and they'll be like, I like your hair. So then I'll be like, thank you. Then immediately it turns into, is that your real hair? I don't know, Ashley.
Your hair is so long. Are those extensions? Oh my gosh. Your nails are so long. Are those your real nails? Oh my gosh, your teeth are so pretty. Is that your real teeth?
You see how stupid you sound? You would never go up to a white girl and be like, oh, your hair's so long, are those extensions? No. But all because I'm black, you're thinking, okay. And if I tell you it's braids, what does that have to do with anything? They'll just be like, ow, and walk away. So why even point it out? Like, you'll have no problem disrespecting black people, but they're the same ones that want to imitate the attitudes of black girls and lay their non-existent edges. Edges. Ridiculous. And then lastly, let's get into part 3. How I was treated by African Americans. Now this one is a very very special topic to me because a lot of my friends are African American. Well, I do have a lot of African American classmates. I mostly listen to African American artists, but sometimes in school they can be very ignorant. So here are a few things that have happened to me in school, right? So there's some instances after it's loudly exclaim the fact that I'm African. So they'll be like, "You're African, right?" Nod your head, yeah. Do you speak African? I literally communicated to you back in English. African is not a language. There are 54 different countries in Africa, and each country has many ethnic groups, and those many ethnic groups speak different languages. Heck, even in Nigeria, we all speak English, but do we all speak the same language? No. I have Yoruba friends. Do I understand what they're saying? No. I know some Igbo people. Do I know what they're saying? No. African is not a language. Then, for some reason, the only food they know is fufu. It's not even fufu that they say. They say fufu. You eat fufu, right? Most of the time, our food was mocked. Then all of a sudden, it was turned to a trend on TikTok where they willingly bash African food. I'm like, you want to get closer to your roots, but you're bashing African food, saying that it tastes like dog food. I'm not even gonna put some TikTok videos in here because it just really irked me. But anytime they're trying any food of anybody else's culture, they're super respectful. But African food, they feel like they could just crap on Africans for views and for clicks. And then the next thing I want to get into is this one always used to piss me off. So whenever we did have an African sub in class, I'll be like, hallelujah, thank the Lord, because that is the only time where my name is actually pronounced correctly. But anytime the African sub does speak, the African Americans act like their accent is so funny. The way they speak is so funny. They'll say anything, then they'll be making fun of their accent to their friends and acting like it's some kind of joke. Very, very weird to me. Then the next thing I have here is not only will the white people forget the pronunciation of your name, it's also the African Americans too. So there'll be some times where I do correct the pronunciation of my name. I'd be like, hey guys, my name actually isn't Eloho, it's Elaha. So then they'll be like, okay, Elaha. Then you're like, yeah, Elaha. Next day, hi Eloho! It's not that hard to say Aloha. They act like I'm asking them to say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. 3 syllables. It's not that hard. Then, even last year when I had gym, this was before the pandemic hit, I had gym class. My name was called by its incorrect pronunciation on the first day. And instead of, him asking me how my name was pronounced, he called my name on the first day. Then the next day, anytime where it came to us doing any activity, he wouldn't even try to pronounce my name. So he would just point at me. Not even ask me, how do you pronounce my name? So and so. Point at me. Like I'm some kind of animal. Like, here, you talking about this girl? It will just motion me to my finger. He'll point directly at me, and he'd be like, go, go. But if this was any other Hispanic girl, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that at all. Or there was this other instance. I went back home to in Nigeria the Christmas of 2015, and I came back in early 2016. So we missed around the first 2 days of that following week. It was a 2-day week. So that following Monday, me and my brother had came back to school, and we went to kind of what you call electives in elementary school. We call them specials. And so we had this new special called reading, and we went to the class. I was talking with my friends, right? Then all of a sudden, everybody stops talking. Then the teacher's like, "Hi." So I say hi to her, and then she's like, "Where are you from?" I said, "Where am I from?" So I was thinking she's talking about my name, right? So I was like, I'm from Nigeria." Then instead of her easily recognizing that I talk like her, she's like, "Welcome to America." What the hell? Welcome to America? Girl, you literally hear I talk like you, and you're telling me welcome to America. Like, the ignorance is real. Then whenever I would have a personal connection with the African substitute, talking about, "Oh, where's my name from? What country are your parents from?" Whenever I get that attention for my name, I just feel like a sense of awkwardness and them looking directly at me. I didn't ask for them to be relating to me like this. I'm sorry, but that's why I just feel some comfort with African substitutes, because we're just not treated the same. It's like we're the same, but the second they hear your name, they start treating you differently. The next point I want to get into was, not only did I have the struggle with "is that your real hair?" Automatically, a lot of African American boys, and some of the girls, will be referring to braids as weave. Anytime where they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I like your weave." I'm like, this isn't weave, it's attachments. It's braids, it's attachments. So anytime that my hair would fall out, because sometimes that would happen, they'd be like,
"Oh, her weave fell out. Her weave
"Fall out." Or there'll be some people trying to give my hair back to me. Do you want me to sew it back in? Do you want me to sew it back in my head? What am I supposed to do with it? Throw it away. The heck? And then this wasn't even personally said to me. This was said to another African kid in class. He was Ghanaian. So in 7th grade, my teacher would joke around and then turn off the lights. And then he'll be like to this African kid, "Oh, I can't see you in the dark. Oh my goodness, what a shadow. You can't see him in the dark." You can't see anybody in the dark, dummy? What the heck? And then there'll be the main ones talking about Africans live in huts. We have pet lions. We have pet zebras. That same ignorance that the white people say, that's what the Black Americans perpetuate. It's tiring. Because you'll go on TikTok and you'll see all these African stereotypes talking about Africans making this forced, cringy African accent. And you'll have people laugh. When you do have African people talking about their experience, with African parents, we come out of a place of experience and comedy. Y'all do it as a way of ignorance and not actually education or experience at all. Just don't do it. And most of the time, if it was funny, I would have nothing to say about it. But most of the time, it's not funny. It's not funny. The next note I'll have is, of course, most of the time, I even have one of my friends at the time tell me, "Oh my gosh, you're Nigerian? I thought you were Jamaican," thinking that Haiti and Jamaica are in Africa. No, they're not. No, they are not in the same country. They're not, sorry. They are different countries in the Caribbean, which is in North America, not in Africa. But yeah, a lot of the times, they'll be the main ones not pronouncing African names correctly, making fun of their culture, making fun of them as people, just having a problem with their existence in school. And they'll be the main ones talking about how Africans don't like us, or we want to get back to our roots, but Africans won't let us. Because most of the time, African culture was looked down upon. But when Black Panther came out, all of a sudden people want to be like, Wakanda forever. No. Then 2 years later, when African food became a trend, y'all bashed it. But when Black is King came out, all of a sudden, I want to get closer to my roots. You can't pick and choose when you want to be a part of the culture, honey. Do I hate African Americans? No. Do I hate Hispanic Americans? No. Do I hate white Americans? No. But one group, don't even count on the education system, because look how bad it's failed them. But Google search and a few YouTube videos goes a long way. It really does. But anyways, y'all, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. My last video is in the description, and go follow me on my social medias in the outro. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.